Hello, Supercars in Seconds here. Two amazing cars today. Obviously based on a similar vehicle. We have a 2015 Mercedes S63, the big S-Class AMG car. And behind me a 2010 S550 with 150,000 miles. So we're going to see how this car has stood the test of time. Then we're going to drive this one and see what the differences are. Just cruising at 50 miles an hour. Then some flat out acceleration runs and have some fun. So size-wise, the cars are the same. 207 inches long, both of them. 124-inch wheelbase, both of them. So like an evolution here of the newer shape. The W221 platform here, the W222 platform here. My favorite actually was the W116. That's like the internal code for Mercedes for each model. W116 was one of the original S-Classes, like the second one. That was 1972 to 1980. I'll show a picture of that car now. I just love that thing. It's really, I spent a lot of time in that when I was a kid, and just an amazing vehicle. So wheels and brakes, we've got about a 14.5-inch rotor here, a 15.5-inch rotor here. You can see the bigger caliper and so on for the AMG. That would be for the difference in the power. This one has the 20-inch wheels. It's the AMG appearance package. So you see this little lip down here and so on. You get the daytime running lights down the bottom there. 20-inch wheel all around. Same size tire, 255 tire all the way around. This one, a 255 tire on the front, and then go to the larger 285 back there to deal with the extra power. But let's take a look at the powertrain. So you release the trunk, then pull on this little tab here, and that will allow you to open up this great big hood. It is enormous too, very impressive. You can push on a little tab here and open up the hood completely straight for service. So what we have in here is a 5.5 32 valve naturally aspirated V8. By 2012 they'd gone to a turbocharged car, but this is the naturally aspirated one. 382 horsepower, 391 pound-foot of torque. This is a 4MATIC car, so in other words, it will drive all four wheels with a rear bias. It runs through a 7-speed automatic transmission. Let's take a look at the AMG. So behind this slightly wider grille on this one, you can see it's a bit bigger than it is on this car, but still a similar mounting for the 3-pointed star and so on. I love the laurel wreaths around the old Mercedes badge, very cool there. Reaching underneath, got a little tab, and that opens up. Again, similar scale, of course, because the cars are about the same size. Now you see that intake there for the turbocharging. So here, a monster, really a very impressive engine. Still 5.5, so a similar base block to the one behind us. But now we're 577 horsepower in this, guys. But 900 Newton meters, 664 pounds of torque. That's just insane on a car like this. Particularly on the weight, she's much lighter than perhaps some of the Bentley and Rolls-Royce cars that have similar power. So very, very impressive. Up here, you can see some glassy, like dark areas in this center part. Behind that is where all of your sensors are for the adaptive cruise and all of the monitoring systems. Similar idea, driving all four wheels through the 4MATIC system as standard on this car. An amazing launch, and we'll mess around with that now shortly. Same 7-speed transmission, not a dual clutch, still an automatic in these cars. They say that can handle the torque much better. So the rear seat back in 2010, in the United States, we only get the long wheelbase, so we get this extra space inside. I'll climb in here, and just unbelievable room. I can stretch out beautifully. Lots of cool air conditioning down in the center console there. Little ashtrays open up, but amazingly soft and padded. The headrests can be controlled from the front to lift them up and down. So climbing into the rear of the AMG, this new shape, just beautiful. This AMG quilting and the little badges on the seats, all very impressive. But you'll notice the other one had more of a bench with a little dip. This one very, very separate, meaning I have seating controls right on the door, including heating and cooling and memory positions for the back. So you can see that it's reclined more now than it would be in the center. If I lift this piece forward, look at that, it's beautiful. All the wood, which is on the seat as well. Cup holders and everything, little storage underneath, another storage behind it. that lifts up to create your third seat. So the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, special class, Sonderklasse they call it in German, has always been state-of-the-art in its technology. The safety systems that these cars have, one of the first vehicles to have a crumple zone, the adaptive cruise controls, all sorts of crazy stuff and innovations, tiredness monitors and so on, were first shown in the Mercedes S-Class over the years. It's always been the leader in technology, and that's really hasn't changed much on these modern cars. Again, the earlier model here rides on air, as they both do, so that it's just incredibly comfortable. But we'll see what they're like again now. But let's take them out on the road. We'll do the S550 first, then come back and go straight out in the S63. So let's try the S550 first here. And what's interesting, walking up to this car, she's covered 150,000 miles. Cool seat layout, very clever, including the separate headrest. But look at this seat. I mean, it's done 150,000 miles, not 50,000, 150,000 miles. So very, very impressive condition that the vehicle is in. The woodwork's all nice and so on. Let's climb inside. So driver's eye view here in the S550, very impressive, nice looking. I love this wood. And actually the air conditioning controls are similar in the new car as well, so that's kind of cool. But look at this mileage, it's nuts. 150,226 miles. It's really a compliment to the car, I think, that she stood the test of time that well. I'm sitting in this seat now, still has the inflating, baffles inside the seat. And I can't find something in this car that doesn't work. All of the buttons work. That's just cool. She's 11 years old, 150,000 miles, and everything works. That doesn't happen in cars very often. Definitely a compliment to the engineering of this car and how state-of-the-art each new S-Class is. I know there's a new one coming now for 2021, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing because they always bring new innovations to the industry with these cars. Okay, so let's take this big V8 down into Batman's corner and just hit it. 7-speed transmission and just beautiful, very smooth, powerful. Feels a big car. Let's see what she's like into the corner here. Well, better than you'd think. Better than you'd think. A little bit of body roll, then it settles. Nice, a great steering feel. It's heavy, which I kind of like in a car, but very, very smooth. All right, let's try these brakes. Just about 14 inches on the front rotors here. Ooh, boy, excellent braking. The harder I push it, the more she just pushes that nose down. Sounds like an obvious thing to say, but it's not. Some cars reach a limit. This doesn't. The harder I was pushing it, the more it was stopping the car. Very, very good. So zipping down here, gosh, amazing power. Really, this is 381. I can't wait to try the 577 horsepower one. Boy, the handling is amazing. The car feels smaller. Again, I'm sure that'll get amplified in the other car too. Very, very smooth. Transmission responds well. It glides, I think, is the best compliment I can give it. It's a big car, obviously. You can feel the weight. I kind of like that. It just glides down the road without much wallow and bounce. It's just nice. But let's get in that great big AMG and see the difference from this super smooth to the really powerful one. So driver's eye view here, really pretty in this car. Kind of an evolution from the one we were just in to this one. It's kind of the same sort of idea, just a more modern look to it. I like this metallized finish. The paddles are metal. Now two big 11.5 to sort of 12-inch screens next to each other. This nav screen is really pretty and very, very clear and easy to read. Let's take off in the car and have some fun. All right, so taking off now in the AMG car. Yeah, immediately you feel that torque, much louder too. So of course, going from 391 pounds of torque to 664 in a similar car, it's a lot of difference. It is. Tell you what, it's interesting. I'm doing about 40-50 miles an hour here. It feels the same. It really does feel the same. It's a little bit firmer. The the view out the window, even looking at the badge, it all seems very similar. And I think that's a compliment to the other car. And this is very much an evolution of that car. But let's stoke this thing up and have a bit of fun. All right, so we go down now into Batman's corner here. 577 horsepower, 664 pounds of torque, all-wheel drive. Man, jeez. So yes, there's a difference. The other one's super smooth, but this one, you know, with that 0 to 60 time, is just insane. All right, here we go. Man, boy, she lifts up the nose and just goes. Okay, 15.5-inch front rotors. Let's hit them. Oof, boy. Boy, yeah, it scrubs speed very, very well. It's amazing. Both these cars stop incredibly well, and I think that's a compliment to Mercedes-Benz, that they not only go like rockets, that they stop an incredible balance under braking too. Very, very good. So coming down at very, very high speed, great pedal feel. It squashes under my foot just nicely and scrubs speed in a very stable way. Amazing cornering. Yeah. Tell you what this thing does better than the standard car. The AMG hides its size better through corners. This feels smaller than an E-Class. This feels more like the C-Class size car. The great big seat here in this right hand now is puffing up and supporting me very well. The other car does that too, but of course this is AMG. The bolsters are bigger. Now it's going the other way. I'm turning left. It's really very, very impressive. Fun to drive. So that's the two cars, just incredible. That was a lot of fun to drive them back to back. And what's very interesting, even though this car's done, the white one's done 150,000 miles, at 50 miles an hour, they feel the same. They honestly feel the same. They just cruising, you know, because the air suspension is similar. The length is the same. I think that's the part of it. With those great big, that big wheelbase being 124 inches, it gives you just a great feel. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll put down here a video I did on the Bentley Flying Spur, another huge, big, powerful sedan, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching.